Welcome to Love Lattes, the podcast designed for women who are ready to stop settling and start living a life full of authentic love, confidence, and real connection. I'm your host, Victoria, the self-love scientist, speaker, and coach, and I'm here to help you reclaim your power, deepen your relationships, and fall unapologetically in love with yourself. So grab your tea, your latte, or your favorite beverage, and let's get started.
Maybe getting lost is part of the process for self-love. Maybe taking the risk and doing the thing is meant to be a part of your growth process. Change is going to be a requirement to expand, to go beyond what you thought was the normal and what you think is enough. It's so easy to be comfortable. Things settle, it's rinse and repeat, but change, that requires a shift. Change requires leaping into the unknown, deciding in that moment, do I go back? Do I go forward? Is this a, yes, I want this? Or is it I'm not ready. But guess what? By the time we go through this episode, you'll know that you're ready and you'll know that it's meant for you. You already know this. So what does this mean? What does it mean you have to do? Because it's not what you think. And I figured this out in my most recent trip to Costa Rica. Well, my loves, welcome to another episode of Love Lattes. In this solo mini episode, we're just going to go some reflection on how getting lost is a part of the process and it's supposed to be messy. Let's get into it. I was in Costa Rica for 3 days. 3 days. And I got lost 3 times. And I'm not just saying, oh, I made a wrong turn, let me U-turn. I was supposed to be at this point, and I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Or was I? See? I got lost 3 times, 3 days. And then I had to cross 3 rivers. Magical number 333. And I can express this now because, when we're faced with a decision, sitting in this unexpected detour, right? In any situation, whether it's me getting lost or having to get up to this river, it forces this experience forced me to sit. Like I had to stop, obviously, like, oh crap, I can't cross, or wait a minute, I'm not supposed to be here. And it's scary. And this can apply to any circumstance. Like, wait a minute, this wasn't supposed to happen. It requires you to stop. It literally will stop you in your tracks. And a lot of things come up. A lot. Especially in these situations where I have no cell service, I'm by myself. So I had to sit and I had to ask myself, do I move forward? Do I keep going? Can I do this? Or do I go back? Sun's going down. Phone battery's dying. Your choices become limited. So what is it that helps us trust in what's available? It's hard to believe. This is not the first time I've been lost before. But the thing is, deep down, what, obviously made it. And, deep down, I realized that even in those scary processes, things come up, whether it's like, oh my gosh, I'm here again. This always happens to me. Or when it came to crossing the rivers, I had to get out of the vehicle and physically get into the water. And I'm talking like I'm in my white, like matching set in my sneakers. And I'm like, maybe I can figure this out, but it's just me. It's just me in the river. There's nobody else here. So let's say you're faced up with a decision or you're wanting to make a change. Deep down, you have what it takes. It's already part of you're thinking it, you have what it takes. These can be small moves or big moves. Either way, you're making a decision. You want an upgrade, you want to go after the thing you want, you need to do something different. So you need to ask yourself, is this what I want? Yes, no. Guess what? It's probably what you want. What, can I go after it? Yes. Yes, you can, because the purpose of life is to go after the things you want. You really want that, then you're going to do what it takes. There's this phrase where it's like, if it's meant for you, it's going to cross all of these things to make sure it has it. But before you can physically have this thing or experience this thing or feel these things, you need to sit with it. You need to sit and realize, it is scary because you don't know. I didn't know if I was going to make it through not just the first river, but let's talk about the other three. And getting lost, it's like I wasn't supposed to be here. This wasn't supposed to happen. Yes, I know things get messy. Isn't that what makes life so vivid and colorful? And part of your process, part of your journey is to understand what is the world, what is your universe asking for you to do? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's asking you to trust. I know. I know. The world is asking you to trust. Things feel really shitty right now. Things might be feeling great right now. In that moment, sitting, being lost the second or even the third time, crossing my third river, it was a really hard feeling. It was a scary feeling. It got easier every time, but that doesn't mean in the moment I was like, hell yeah, I could do it. No, because this is something new, but I wanted to be here and I had to figure out a way. And in order for me to move forward, to get out of that, fight or flight situation, I had to trust. The first river I crossed, I get there and I'm looking at my phone and it's like, well, there's the road. And I got out and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to do something different, something crazy, because I can't go back. You can never go back to what was or who you were before. You need to move forward and you need to trust in the fact that, yes, if you want this thing, then you need to be able to receive it, become that person. Like it's yours. It's already yours. It's waiting. Maybe. But don't close yourself off or reject it because it's unknown, because you don't trust. You need to trust yourself. And if you're being honest, if this is something you really want, then you will find a way and the ways will be paved for you. I was able to cross the rivers. I was able to find my way. And yes, you're going to fall down. And if you really think about this, this can be applied to anything, whether you're applying for jobs, whether you're building a business, whether you're going after the relationship, everything has faults, everything goes up and down. You just need to trust that regardless of what happens, if this is what you want, this is part of living. Yes, I understand. I can't promise you that it's going to be a great thing. Maybe it is. Like, what kind of work are you doing? How are you showing up? You could do everything by the book and still feel like you got it wrong. You can still fall short. It doesn't mean you're unworthy of it. It just means you're being redirected. There is something here. Like if you go through this process, you're like, Victoria, I'm really trying and I keep falling short. So are you sitting with it? Are you sitting with like, what did I learn from this? What is this experience trying to teach me? Rejection is redirection. Getting lost isn't actually getting lost. What if it's just another way? There's another route. There's something here. What if you're not lost? What if you're being redirected? And this oops, quote, quote, was actually a way for the universe to say, hey, you're not lost, but I do have a detour that I'd really like for you to check out. And I need you to learn from this so you can recognize that come the next time. You build this confidence, you build this strength, you build this trust. Because if you have a trust in the process, like, hey, I have a good feeling about this, or, sometimes you have an idea in mind, right? You have a goal, you have a need, a want, and you might have the oversight of what you want, but you don't have the details. That's okay. That's okay. That is not expected of you. But that part of you that has the plan, that has the vision, you see it, and you're like, yep, eyes on the prize. It's yours. But when you get it, another story. When you do get it, you got to learn how to take care of it and appreciate it. You know what I mean? And this can be for anything. You built that business, you got to sustain it. You got that relationship, you better love it. You got to show up. You got the house, you got to clean it. All the things. This applies to everything. So really, this was a reflection for, I get people hearing like, they're stuck in the same cycle or nothing's ever going to change or, you know, for me when I shared this story of getting lost, I like laugh about it now, but in the moments, the things that came up for me was there was no other way because I refused to go back. I was like, no, this is where I'm supposed to be. I need to be there. And in order for me to get to where I wanted to be, I had to trust, yes, I'm going to cross this river. I'm not going to stall or go, down this river. I'm not saying it's going to be the same for everyone else. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that what was important for me was to trust. And when you trust yourself, because you're like, yep, I can do this. Even if there's a tiny part of you that has doubt, and I don't blame you for that, it's still enough ammo to get you forward. And you're going to make it. Remember, there's no timeline, there's no expectation, no hidden agendas except the ones that we were used to. So I ask you to reflect. And if you're in a state of, is this for me? Am I doing enough? I feel like I'm lost in this process. If you're feeling stuck or disconnected, it's okay. It happens to all of us on more occasions than you realize. If you have the willingness to sit with that and learn and apply those learnings to your next process and just trust, you know, there may have been some things that didn't work out, but there are also some good things that come out from that too. For me, crossing the river, I can laugh about it now. In the moment, it was not funny. But by the time I got out of that, I was like, I can do anything. I literally just crossed a river. I got into the water because I had to measure if my tires would, be big enough. So I had to like walk through. And, if you're watching, if you know how I dress, like I'm very chic and I had to get into my masculine and be like, okay, survival. In order to survive, I have to cross this. And it's amazing how the character development that you will experience when you trust and lead yourself forward, because you might find yourself in situations. This is not the first time I was in a situation where I had to carry myself through. One of my most vivid experiences was carrying myself through my divorce years ago. Nobody was there. They're there when the decision was made and through the healing process, and people will be there for you too, especially the right ones, but you won't get there until you lead yourself first. So trust that part of your process is to get lost. And I just want you to know that you will always be supported, and what you want to go after matters, and what you want will always be, there'll always be a way there. It just might be a little messier, and it might require you to go offline. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Love and Lattes. Be sure to check out my second part of my reflection from Costa Rica, because while I was in the jungle, I had another deep epiphany when it comes to nature and the way it's connected to our pleasure. And I hope you enjoyed that episode. Have a great day, my loves. See you later.